Hey guys, today we're going to learn how to solve radical equations. The steps that you see here at the top of your page will be what you will need to follow in order to successfully come up with your answer. We're going to isolate the radical to one side of the equation. Remember, isolate means to get by itself. We're going to raise both sides to the nth root to eliminate radical symbol. That is a real fancy way of saying we're going to square both sides. We're going to solve the equation and then we're going to have to check all proposed solutions. I'm going to be checking them on paper when you go to do these particular problems or when you go to do your independent practice. You may check them in your head or in your calculator. You just have to make sure you check. All right, taking a look at part A. The first thing we need to do is subtract 7 from both sides to isolate that radical. The square root of A plus 5 is equal to 5. Then we are going to square both sides. And when you square, you drop the radicand out from under the radical. To solve for A, we're going to subtract 5 from both sides, and A is equal to 20. In order for us to establish that A is equal to 20, we need to check. So I'm going to write mine out to the side. The square root of 20 plus 5 plus 7 is equal to 12. The square root of 25 plus 7 is equal to 12. 5 plus 7 is equal to 12. That works. The answer is A equal 20. Part B. We're going to subtract 4 from both sides and get the square root of h plus 1 is equal to 10. Square both sides. H plus 1 is equal to 100, so h is 99. When you check, 4 plus the square root of 99 plus 1 is 14. 4 plus the square root of 100 is 14. 4 plus 10 is 14. That is a true statement. The answer is h equals 99. Problem number, or part C. Subtract 8 from both sides. So the square root of x plus 5 is equal to 1. Square both sides. X minus 5 is equal to 1. Add 5 and x is equal to 6. To check, the square root of 6 minus 5 plus 8 is 9. 1 plus 8 is 9. That checks. The answer is x is equal to 6. Part D, add 2 to both sides. The square root of c minus 3 is equal to 6. Square both sides. C minus 3 is 36. Add 3 and c is 39. To check, the square root of 39 minus 3 minus 2 is 4. The square root of 36 minus 2 is 4. 6 minus 2 is 4 is a true statement. Your answer is C is equal to 39. As we go to our next page, we are going to talk about extraneous solutions. Extraneous solutions occur when you solve an equation and you go to check and it doesn't work. I will go ahead and tell you we are not going to work part D. So you may go ahead and mark that out. And if you have questions, you can create a question box down at the bottom of the page. So sometimes, as it says, you are going to get a false solution even though you have solved the equation correctly. This is called an extraneous solution, and it will not be part of your solution set. So as we look at part A, we have our radical already isolated, so we square both sides, remembering that you will have to FOIL this binomial because k minus 1 squared is k minus 1 times k minus 1. So k plus 1 equals k squared minus 2k plus 1. Set the equation equal to 0 by subtracting k and subtracting 1. 0 equals k squared minus 3k plus 0. Factor GCF of k. Set each factor equal to 0 and you get k equals 0 and k is equal to 3. This is a Math 1 skill that you should know. If you don't, please make sure you put it in your questions box. When we plug in 0, we get the square root of 0 plus 1 equals 0 minus 1. 1 does not equal negative 1. That is an extraneous solution. When we check 3, the square root of 3 plus 1 equals 3 minus 1. The square root of 4 is equal to 2. That is a true statement. Your answer is K equals 3. Problems B and C will be solved the same way. Square both sides, FOIL it out, set the equation equal to 0 by subtracting x and adding 1. So x squared minus 7x plus 10 is equal to 0. This time we have trinomials, so we have to see what multiplies to give us 10 and combines to give us -7 is -2 and -5. Set each factor equal to 0, and x is 2 or 5. When we check 2, we get 2 minus 3 equals the square root of 2 minus 1. 1 does not equal -1, so 2 is an extraneous solution. When we check 5, 5 minus 3 equals the square root of 5 minus 1. 2 is equal to the square root of 4, which is true. Your answer is x equals 5. Part C, it's already isolated, so we square both sides using the FOIL method. T plus 5 is equal to t squared plus 6t plus 9. Subtract t and subtract 5. 0 equals t squared plus 5t plus 4. What multiplies to give you 4 and adds or combines to give you 5 is 4 and 1. Set each one equal to 0 to get -4 and -1. So I have the square root of -4 plus 5 equals -4 plus 3. 1 does not equal -1, so -4 is an extraneous solution. -1 plus 5 as the radicand is equal to -1 plus 3. The square root of 4 is equal to 2 is a true statement, so t is equal to -1. Remember, if you have questions, to put those in your questions box. One other thing I want to share with you before we go, and that is if both of your solutions are extraneous, the answer to the question will be no solution. Please remember to fill in your questions box, and I hope y'all have a great day.